Thank you very much. It's good to be here. We got a great night planned for you. Got a lot of great comics coming your way. My name is Mike Speirs. I'll be your first comic and MC tonight. I'm going to start by bragging a little bit. I lost 25 pounds this year. Pretty proud of myself. Thank you. You guys are clapping, but you're all looking at me like, how freaking fat did you used to be? Holy God. People keep coming up to me and telling me I look good. They say they can really see it in my face. I'm like, thank you. How about my stomach? Is anything going on here? I thought this was my problem area. I had no idea I was having so much trouble with my face. Thanks for pointing that out, though, douche. I appreciate that. I'm running a little bit. I'm really trying to get back into shape, but I have marathon runner friends who want me to really go into it with them. One of them says to me, Mike, I know you're just getting started with the running, but you should seriously put running a marathon on your bucket list. I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that on my bucket list. Then I'm going to shit in a bucket. Big dump right in the bucket. Going to leave it on your porch. I hope you're stepping now when you come back from a jog, because running's stupid and you're an idiot. How about that? Just trying to set the tone early. Nice shit in the bucket joke right out of the gate, just so we can get it out of there. I got spooked on long distance running a long time ago, even when I was in good shape. I used to work at a place called Champ Sports. In the front window was an ASICS running shoe display with a poster of a guy in the New York Marathon crossing the finish line, and you could see in the picture that he had Band-Aids on each one of his nipples. Now, some of you might be long distance runners, know what that's about. I had no idea. Every day I'd go to work and look at that and go, how in the hell did that guy cut both of his nipples right before a big race? What in the world was he doing? Does he lean in too much when he slices his bagels? Like, what the hell? And I'll tell you what, after I nicked the first one, I'd be really careful not to get the other one, too. That seems ridiculous to me. I finally had it explained to me, though, by a coworker. He was one of those fitness fanatic a-holes. And he told me that it's a friction thing that happens to long-distance runners. And he says to me one day, he goes, Mike, you've seriously never run so far that your nipples bled? I said, I can do you one better than that. I've never run so far that I couldn't see where I started from. I don't know who the hell you think you're dealing with here, but so I'm 33, I'm single. This is the worst I've ever looked. It's all coming together nicely for me. Yeah. That's what women do. They go, oh, like you just saw a puppy at the shelter that needs to be adopted. With it's got like one leg, You go, oh, somebody should do something for him. It's not going to be me, but really somebody ought to take care of that. People try to make me feel, they're like, Mike, you look okay. Not naked, I don't. I can look presentable sometimes, tuck the shirt in, cinch the belt real tight. Once I start unhooking and unbuttoning stuff, it gets away from me really fast. Here's how bad it's gotten. I've come to a point now that when I'm fantasizing, I get startled when I enter the scene. You know how messed up it is when you want to recast the part of you in your own fantasy? You're like a movie director. Yeah, that's a good scene. Let's keep the girls. Get a better looking guy in there, though. Maybe somebody who doesn't eat Nutella with a spoon. That might be a good alternative. I've never been good with women anyway. And now I'm meeting girls like around my age in the 30s that are single, and they're all still holding on to those delusions that a Prince Charming is coming along to sweep them off their feet, but they no longer drink nearly enough for me to convince them that I'm him. So we're like kind of a weird in-between stage. So now I'm going to start going after women in their 40s. That's the new plan. Because a woman in her 40s who's single does not need a Prince Charming nearly as much as she needs health insurance. And ladies, I've got really good health insurance, if that means anything to you. A lot of guys get fancy clothes, nice cars, flash cash around to pick women up. Not me. I just flash my Blue Shield card at this point. I'm like, yeah. Take a good look, ladies. That's a $10 copay right there. Yeah. Vision and dental, bitches. You got that straight. You get with all this, you got prescription coverage. I'm just saying. I want it out there. Saw my parents last weekend. They're both in their 60s now. Retired, home together all day. They're getting fun to watch. They've been married 37 years this past month. I love watching them interact with each other. My father's doing something new the last year or two. He ignores my mother right to her face. Have you ever heard of this in your life, seen it? It's very impressive to watch. When I was a kid growing up, he had the classic dad, husband patented, I'm reading the paper, I don't hear you, I'm deaf. I'm not making any eye contact move, right? Classic. Doesn't even go through that charade anymore. I was at their house last year. My mother came into the room and said, hey, Tom, can you pick my mother up and take her to the grocery store? She's got to get a couple of things. My father looked up from his paper, stared at her for like 15 seconds, said nothing, and went right back to reading his paper again. And my mother just stormed out of the room like, you are an ass. And I was like, yeah, an ass that doesn't have to take your mother to the grocery store today. That is well played, Daddy. Nicely done. Won't answer any of her questions. Avoids that like the plague. If she corners him and forces him to, she gets one of two responses, no matter what the question is. He either says, I have no idea, or it doesn't matter. That's it. Drives her insane. I asked him about it one day. I said, you just trying to make mom nuts? He said, no. We've been together 40 years. I've learned one thing. Nothing good comes from answering any of your mother's questions. Now, I'm single. I never been married. I didn't get what he was saying. I said, Dad, I don't get it. He said, someday, Michael, you will. Someday came 2 hours later. I overheard this conversation. Hey, Tom, do you want cheese on your hamburgers later? Yeah, we should have cheese on the hamburgers later. Okay, then I'm going to need you to run to the store and get some cheese. Pick my mother up along the way, too, as long as you're heading over there. That'll be convenient. As he angrily tied his sneakers, it all hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh, you should have said it doesn't matter. He went, now you're starting to get it. Life lesson there. So this is a good job. Stand-up comedy is a great job, especially if you do shows like this. When I was younger, I had a lot of crappy jobs. Worked a lot of retail. Any retail folks here? Yeah, that's about the right reaction. It's awful. It's an awful way to make a living because you have a bad combination most of the time in retail stores of underpaid, undertrained young people, really don't give a shit, to be honest with you, and customers who are expecting top-notch service. And that leads to some misunderstandings. And I found in my career a lot of hurt feelings, too. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to work at a place called Champ Sports, as I mentioned before. A guy came in one night to buy running sneakers. He says, hey, Chief, listen, I'm training for a half marathon this year, but I had surgery to repair a torn ACL, and I pronate a little bit when I run, so what do you recommend? I was like, yeah, I'm 19 and I make $5.10 an hour. And I came to work drunk today. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend you go to Foot Locker, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to bring nearly to the table what you're looking for, buddy. Anybody's ever on one of those mall job knows the questions never stop all day long. Do these have good ankle support? What if I have fallen arches? Can I wear these to play tennis? I don't know, okay? I have a name tag. That's the level of training I've gotten here. They don't send us to sneaker college, all right? I didn't study with Dr. Scholl. I don't have the product knowledge that you think I do. Here's what we can do. Pick a sneaker out on that wall over there. Tell me the size you need. I'll go get it for you, all right? As long as we're being totally honest, if I go in the back room and it's way up on a high shelf, I'm just going to say we don't have it. And if you've never worked retail and you think that doesn't happen, think again. That's many hungover Sundays I was in that shoe warehouse like, oh, we do have one 9.5 left in there. Yeah. You know what? Screw him. He's not getting that today. That's not going to happen. Not climbing up there half drunk. Before I did comedy full time, I was actually a 7th grade soul studies teacher for 9 years. Thank you. Any teachers in the place? Any teachers? Yeah? Couple? Somebody's clap. Did your summer go fast? Did it go by fast, summertime? Oh, you're not a teacher? Why are you? Okay. Thanks. Thanks for helping. That's what teachers say all the time. Summer went fast. You can't say that to other people other than teachers, though. People hate teachers sometimes for no reason, but we bring a little of it on ourselves, right? Oh, summer went fast. Really? Did the 71 straight days you had off go too fast there? Okay, yeah, that's... That 10 straight weeks that you got to sleep in, that went a little quick for you? I'll give you one quick teaching story before I get the show moving along here. My second year teaching, smartest kid I ever taught, came into my room after school one day looking for extra credit. Why did he need extra credit if he was so smart? He was failing because he was lazy, so hell didn't do any of his work. Now it's 5 days before report cards come out. He's trying to pull off the Hail Mary right at the end of the quarter. So I'm thinking, this little bastard hasn't done anything for 9.5 weeks. Now he wants my help to pass. I'm going to give him the most ridiculous assignment I can think of. Just see if he does it. So here's what we're going to do, man. We're studying the Revolutionary War right now. Choose any person you want from that time period. Write me a 1-page essay. Explain how history would have been different if that person never existed. Yeah, that's total nonsense to ask a 12-year-old to do. He came back in 2 days later, all proud of himself with it done, handed it to me. Couldn't wait for me to read it. I opened it up. It was one sentence. This is what he wrote. According to my father, if it weren't for Sam Adams, me and my twin sister wouldn't be here today. And I gave that little prick an A for the quarter, too. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm sure he's doing just fine now. All right, folks, that's it for me. Thank you very much.